Hello and welcome, as it is the 29th day of January 2018. My name is Derek. Like always, everything within your own risk and own reward. Code EDG, that of edgeless, which is nearly approaching a target level of the even 10,000. Right now in at 11.4. There was 3 times hit resistance at around 21, and about 3 times hit support at around 13. And then on this 4th hit, it just stayed there for a while and has been grinding its way towards the downside. I have decided to pass on buying at 10,000, thus not putting a buy order, and I just bought a little bit now instead. Reason, there isn't many codes that I've been looking at that, yeah, I like to buy it now based on the principles that I've been talking within the buying strategy. This is well below the 18 average, decently from where it was before. It has basically grinded its way down a little bit. So I'm buying here. Whenever I'm looking to buy well below the 18 average of lows, and this is the case for such, if this can make a fast move within the next 2 days, 3 days, and get to the 18 average of highs, and this happens every now and again, that's a sell. I got it under 15,000, 14.9 change. And when this happens, if you see like within the day or the next day or the day after a big green candle that makes it to the 18 average of highs, it's an extremely strong sell within these altcoins, because it seems like 80% of the time when a move well below the 18 lows has a fast move to the 18 highs, thus a big green candle to get to such, that it will either come down, make a significant higher low to where it came from, or at least test it or break it thereafter. That has been very common within a lot of my studies. I've looked at so many situations just going back in time where I could do it with this one here while I'm at it. I don't know if I've done edgeless or not, but situations where, okay, say you start trading this late in time, you don't want to buy when it's extended like this. Okay, so now you get in at 19.1 and you don't want to buy here again at 19. You didn't sell here, we'll say, but if you want to enter in, maybe, but you'd be possibly put a buy order at 14. And then if you entered at 19, you would be buying on significant legs lower. This is why this strategy, I don't like to do it just to try to pick away at it and sell the whole thing in one shot. Because you're going to have situations where, say, you buy down here, it's just going to go down. So it can force you to hold on to something for quite a while before you can get a gain or a break even. Or, of course, you can sell for a loss. So it's just something I like to do within this strategy, realizing you are planning on buying on future legs lower. So in this case, all that we've been done in this point, buy order city at different times of price action. You can't even consider selling if it doesn't even get to the 18. So in the spot here, buying on the low end at 70 makes it relatively easy to buy it at 95. You wouldn't want to buy it back until it at least comes back to the previous low. And there's where the buyback would be. You can consider selling more again. Now you can consider selling for a small buying at a small pierce below the 18 lows, because it's starting to neutralize. And there's that small pierce below the 18 lows. That would have been the better buy. But if you bought at the small pierce lows, you bought at 80. If you waited for the previous low at the 70 number, you got that instead. And there's a sell, buyback. There's some selling. And now it's coming. There's your buyback. Could sell there, but you know, I probably wouldn't. No, I wouldn't sell there. Although in hindsight 2020 I would, but no. And that's where we stand right now. So now you didn't, now you just be okay, now I'm gonna buy back some more. So therefore, sell orders again. I have 3 in place. I have 1 at a hair below the 15 handle. I have 1 at a hair under the 20 handle. And then based on, of course, more date, I'm just gonna go 3-day time frame just so I don't accidentally put in another array of 40,000. I should have just said the number, but under this 2-time previous high. Down or in here. So as far as a buy order is concerned, I bought around 100. So there is no need to buy until I get a decent price differential. Previous low is around 70. So the difference in price for me is about 110 down to about 70 as far as where the next buy would come into place. So that's where I would be putting a buy order. Now if price action falls and it's down to like say here like 79 or 8,000, I'll just take it kind of deal. Sort of like how I'm taking 110 over 100. And that would be it for this particular code. Litecoin is another one that I re-entered into. I did this a couple days ago or yesterday. And this is something I was in previous, as it had this beautiful gain at the tail end of 2017. I ended up selling out of a lot of my position, and well, at the price is higher than the 50 handle anyway, even over the 60 handle for that matter. So I'm back in at a cheaper price. When you look at this on the 3-day time frame, you know, you could see where there could be downside action, but there isn't any strong case yet that the bears are going to be into play. This market has had a support play here with okay gain, but a good gain on the second try after higher low. This one here, not so great of a gain, but it had somewhat of one. And then again in here, it doesn't rally too high. And now it's been staying within this area. I guess it's supporting it because it's barely above the lows. So there's definitely reason for this to be a I don't want to buy it. Or another analogy is this. I look at charts or cryptos as in, I look at maybe a couple great baseball hitters like Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Giancarlo Stanton, any of the big boys. If you were to give them a contest where the rules are you have say 20 swings, you have unlimited amount of pitches, as long as you don't swing it doesn't count. Whoever gets the most home runs, and home run feet even, just to have fun rules, whoever gets the most home run feet, total net yards or whatever, wins. Well, in a situation like that, if you're one of the top hitters, you can be very, very picky on which pitch you're going to hit. You can take 30, 40, 50, 100 pitches in a row until you finally see that one you know you have got extreme high probability odds on. And that's what I'm looking at this at. So to buy now would totally be one of those pitches you should not swing at. And if you look at a price pivot area for where you should, we're looking at a chart which obviously this area of support matches this level of resistance. So what's the next key area in which it came from, key congestion area from before? And my monkey eyes look at this range, which brings it to an upward target near 25,000. So for me, that means I don't need to accumulate any more until the price goes down to 25,000 or in near that level. 27,000 is an example. 28,000 near the level. It's at 40. 36,000, 33,000 is not near it. All right, as far as the sell targets are concerned, because I happen to be in it again, I need a good green candle break above the 18 average of highs. A minimum amount is something like this. Even that is, ooh, that's close. I mean, that's for sure kind of deal. And when you're involved in the market, when days like this happen, there are two reasons why you can sell when this happens. One, because you have a sell order that happens to be at a sufficient enough price, even with maybe where that line happens to be. Even a line up here might be enough. Obviously, that was profitable buying back here. But if you see on that particular day when the price has the bid ask over the 60 number, you go on there, you sell the amount you sell, you maybe put a buy order. Of course, you would 3 days later get your buy in, or maybe 2 days later, maybe this day here you buy. Either way, that's what I'll be looking for. If I see the price up here, I'm going to be selling some. No doubt, no doubt about it. But when you look at the numbers here, I'm buying, I can't remember what number I bought at, probably a bit below considering, I think 38, 39, whatever. If you're selling at 45, that's a gain of like 15%. Like, yeah, it's not that good. But it's sufficient enough. But it's the entry gain, because gains up here, of course, now you're starting to talk about getting full 50% gains on that one. If you're looking for a code that might be breaking out soon that has been doing recently well, code BNT Bancor. This is the 3-day time frame. Nice little rally in here. It's been going sideways for the last 8 or so periods. And when we move this onto a 1-day chart, it has had several days within this 18 average, but the last 2 or 3 days has been making a rise towards the upside. Yesterday making it to the 18 average of highs and staying there, unlike the previous day and 2 days prior to that. Today's session so far hanging in there within the 18 average of highs, so definitely something worth looking at. The volume, of course, very, very low. If you're looking to get the cheaper price, you're pretty much getting that now for the most part, because when we look at breakouts, you kind of want to see a significant move above, which would be somewhere close to about the 80 handle, and you'd want to see this come on higher volume as well, and most of the time that's going to, so that's not often always going to get you there, but it's a decent chance that if it does break above, that there's going to be spectacular gains, and that looks like that might just be ready to do such. On the 400-minute time frame, the 18 average represents now a 5-day moving average, and within such, it's supporting the area for the last 5 periods. So again, it's breaking out, and when you look at this in this case, it's like, oh my goodness, this is looking good. Next period, oh, still looking good. Okay, come on, that's looking good. Okay, it's just the last couple is, well, why isn't it not going up yet? So the more it goes sideways, the less the play looks to be good on an immediate sense, and the more cautionary you are, because then this short-term support mark and resistance now becomes very neutral, with no idea if you're going to break this resistance to new gains or break this support to go back in this shorter-term range in here. So that's why a good reason for you want to wait for that confirmation, because if you don't, buying up here, can become very, very expensive. If this does happen to top out and we start to gap fill into the 29, 30, 40 kind of handle, it's had a significant gain, but I do think there's a good chance this can have another leg higher. This has got the exact same type of setup, but this looks even stronger, I think, as it's gained from its mid-December lows from 30,000-ish Satoshi up to 500,000, another how you doing, a 14 or so X gain in less than 1 month time. We had its price correction, only one so far, which was in here, a few days correcting in time. However, the big green candle that got up to the 18 average of highs has had two follow-through small up candles close to previous high. So that looks pretty darn near nice. If we expand this out to a more longer term time frame, which is what makes this more stronger than the previous chart, is that the previous resistance mark in here is where it's coming from. I would think it could have some very decent gains, but again, just like Bancor, I would want to see this thing get above here because the risk reward for something of this nature is pretty high. Pretty high, but I do like how it looks. Just if it fails, I mean, it could go pretty hard, because on a bullish level you're gonna see, oh, you start to see a move up here and you buy there and you could have something like this happen, but oftentimes a net result of something like that's going to be the case. But if this starts to maybe go range bound for a bit, goes up to here, and then next thing you know, it breaks the range to the downside, and you're stuck buying pretty much at the top. So that becomes very, very expensive within the market. Lots of high volatility, and that's what makes this a major roller coaster part of the game. But you know what? These big moves, the way I look at it is, when you're going from point A to point B on these things, like from here to here, going from like say 70 to 250 or something that gets you a 3x gain. When you're doing this on the stock market, you could go months and months and months, if not years, for a stock to triple. And when, as you see a stock goes, oh, this one stock goes up 20% this month or 30% this month. Okay, good. Well, this is up 30% the last 3 days type thing. So that's the big difference. So I look at it as in the type of gains you can get, say, in a day of trading the market is the amount you can get in a few hours trading this, or the amount you can get in a week trading the market you can get in a day or two here. And this trades every single day, not just the business day cycle. And I'm going to finish this off within Omi's Go at OMG. On a technical level, sometimes you can really have no idea what the next play is going to be, either that, other than that of up or down, because there can only be two choices. You're in a situation where this had an amazing run from the December lows up to the January highs in here, going from 42 handle up to the 180, so better than a 4x gain, and has been going sideways now for a decent amount of time, holding well above the lows, so it hasn't even touched this gap fill area. Will it? I don't know, but I realize that in a situation of building up a range of this magnitude, if I'm a seller, I don't know if I really want to be much of a seller until it comes to this previous high, because breaking above this resistance means that's probably where you're going to go next. How you act after that, well, who knows? But that's the next target. But if this level of support doesn't hold, and we break down below, we can see the 18 average has gone sideways, barely gone lower, but that's still going sideways or neutral. That there are possible several areas that could be tested. We got the previous low in here, down towards this area. That would be the next key area you'd be looking for support. Psychologically, the even numbers. There's the even one handle, 001. Could this be that area where it ends up finding support? Tough to say because a lot of this is traded within the US dollar. A lot of people seem to look more at its price against such, but these markets do move in flux with, of course, the technical analysis in general with the Bitcoin cross. And I don't really want to be much of a buyer until there's a significant wave lower, or I know something else fundamentally that the chances of any move here is very unlikely. Only way I could be a buyer now, unless it comes down here. And I don't want to be a seller until it hits that upwards area I was talking about, because a lot of selling activity should have been done upwards around here. Buy back in here, and then of course everything sold in here. You could buy a bit here. So you can do a little bit of small selling along the way, of course. But the big selling I would of course want to do on a break of that resistance. Alright, thank you for tuning in to this video and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.